just like mountain pose, double check and correct your feet. Make sure your feet are pointing forward. We're going to do a position that's called the pyramid preparation pose. Turn autopilot off, and let's go through this together. Now first, we'll stare at the left leg. Bend your left knee just a little bit, just for balance. Shift the weight to your left leg. Now facing forward, everything faces forward, drag your right foot straight back. And you get your right foot flat on the ground. Now if we've done this properly, there'll just be a little bit of refinement. Maybe turn the rear heel, maybe turn that heel out a little bit. And just trying to be as upright as possible. Both legs straight. Now, just like we did in the warm-up, bring your arms by your side, shoulders down, shoulder blades together, palms facing forward, and externally rotate your arms. So turn your palms away from your body. And breathe. Posterior pelvic tilt. And we have this inverted V shape with our arms. That's helping to open up the front shoulders. Opens up the chest. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. Let your arms get loose. Swing your arms forward, step forward. We'll try the other side. Stare at your right foot, please. Bend your right knee just a little bit, just for balance. Shift the weight into your right leg. Drag your left leg straight back. Once your left foot is flat on the ground, straighten both legs. So you're in a scissor stance sort of position. Double check, make sure everything is more or less pointing forward. As upright as possible. Bring your arms into that inverted V shape. Now this time we internally rotate the arms. Turn the palms towards your body. And just keep going until you feel a little bit stuck. And then hold and breathe. So the internal rotation is helping to open up the back of the shoulder. The upper back, the lower neck. We're toning both sides, for lack of a better word, we're toning both sides of the rotator cuff muscles. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. Release your arms, swing forward, step forward. Good. Now, if you feel any tension in your feet or your legs or your hips, just take a second and shake the tension out. If you feel fine, just catch your breath, whatever it takes. And now we're going to try front warrior. So front warrior, just a quick tip. When we're setting up into that high runner's lunge position, your rear heel should never touch the ground. Let me show you what a lot of people do. They step back this way, almost kind of like a triangle. Rear heel is on the ground. Nothing is pointing toward the short end of the mat. Then from this position, people will try to correct themselves. And it gets real wobbly and it gets real messy. It's not bad, it's not wrong, but there's a safer way. Let's see if we can do the safer way. Double check and correct your feet, please. Now, similar to the pyramid pose, stare at your left foot, bend your left knee a little bit, and put the weight into your left leg. Here's where the similarities kind of end. Drag your right foot, drag your right toes straight back. Keep your right heel up the whole time. Bend your front leg a little bit, and we get into front warrior. It's kind of a high runner's lunge position, but we got front warrior here. Rear leg as straight as possible, as upright as possible. Bring your hands out to a T. And breathe. Now imagine pulling your shoulder blades down, pulling your shoulders towards your spine, And imagine you have 3 friends who are gently trying to help you here. 2 friends are pulling on your wrists gently, and another friend is pulling on your rear leg ankle bone, just gently. And they're just trying to help you open up and stretch the torso from top to bottom, bottom to top. One more big inhale, big exhale. Let your arms loose, swing your arms forward, step forward. So hopefully you're starting to feel a stretch more or less in the front side of your hip. This is going to come in handy when we start to do triangle, warrior 2, and other hip opening type moves. Check and correct your feet. Stare at your right foot, please. Bend your right foot, bend your right knee a little bit. Shift the weight into the right leg. Drag your left leg straight back. Everything is pointing forward. That left heel is up off the ground. It was never near the ground, ever, for this position. Once your legs are set, once you're more or less upright, bring your hands out to a T and breathe. You're trying to open your chest. Open the front side of your hip. That's where your hip flexors are. So we're trying to stretch there, trying to stretch across the chest. Try not to disturb the spine too terribly much. And really just get into those larger shoulder and hip joints. One more big inhale. Big exhale. Drop your arms, swing your arms forward, step forward. Good. If you feel any residual tension, shake your legs out. We're doing a lot of leg and hip work already. We got a little more to go. So just a way to keep you revived, a way to keep you recharged, shake out the residual tension. Just shake your arms, shake your feet, shake your legs. Now we have what's called Warrior 1. I like to embellish by saying Warrior 1 the correct way. At least correct in my mind. So here's what we try. Feet hip width apart. Stare at your left leg, please. Bend your left knee a little bit. Shift the weight to your left leg. So we're experts at this now. Drag your right foot straight back. We've done this before. We know what we're doing here. Front knee is bent, rear leg is straight. Here's where things change. Drop the rear heel and turn your hips just about 45 degrees. So now your hips, they're not quite pointing forward. They're not quite pointing exactly towards me. They're 45 degrees. Keep your hips here, please. Bring your arms up like Frankenstein. Inhale. Exhale, and turn your ribs toward the front of your mat. Now hopefully you start feeling a stretch pretty much from your left armpit diagonally across the front of your body and down the front of the right leg. If you don't, that's okay, but just double check everything. Make sure your rear leg is as straight as possible. Posterior pelvic tilt. Hips more or less going 45 degrees. Upper body trying to face forward. One more inhale. One more exhale. Swing your arms back a little bit. Rock forward. Step forward. Good. And now we'll try to do Warrior 1, Frankenstein arm variation, opposite side. Stare at your right foot, please. Bend your right knee just a little bit. That's for balance. Shift the weight to your right leg. Drag your left toes straight back to that front warrior stance. If you're observing, you see I'm shuffling, I'm shimmying, I'm trying to find that right spot. Once you're set, once I'm set, hands to the hips. Drop that rear heel. Turn the hips about 45 degrees. Arms up like Frankenstein and turn your ribs toward the front of the mat and breathe. Now, my right foot is forward. So from this position, pretty much from my right armpit, diagonally down to the front of my left hip, I feel a stretch. It's a diagonal sort of rotation pattern. Every breath you're trying to tuck your pelvis. Every breath you're trying to lift your spine. One more inhale. Exhale, swing your arms back, rock back a little bit, step forward. Awesome. If you're feeling any residual tension, just shake your arms out, shake your legs out a little bit. But hopefully, now, starting to feel some strengthening and lengthening throughout the entire hips. So we work the hips facing forward. We work the hips at a 45-degree angle. Now we're going to go lateral, really try to open the hips up. So here we have Warrior 2. From the middle of your mat, let's stand wide, please. As wide as you can comfortably. Double check, this is important. Double check that your feet are pointing forward. And you can look at that because of the outside line of your yoga mat. I see too many people that stand like this. This is not wrong or bad. It could be a bad habit. It could be you're going too wide, so you're trying to stabilize yourself. Might be a combination of the two. Now, unless there are clinical or medical reasons why you have to turn your feet out, try not to. If it's just a bad habit, all that means is that the muscles in the back of your hips are just really, really tight. This may not be super comfortable, but if we can get used to it, if we adjust, and your body will adjust, all things being equal, your body will adjust, your hips will free themselves up. Now, your left leg is going to point to 0, right leg turns out about 90 degrees. Double check and correct your alignment. Hands to your hips. Inhale. Exhale, bend your front leg about 90 degrees. Double check everything, please. Now listen up. Inhale. Bring your arms up overhead and hold. Don't move. Hold here and breathe here. Something old, something new, something to review. So here, as much as you're reaching your fingers and your hands up, you're lowering your hips down. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. Straighten your front leg, please, and drop your arms. Good. Let's go to the other side, please. Right leg goes to 0 degrees. Left leg, everything turns out about 90 degrees. Hands to your waist, please. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your front leg. Now if you observe, my knee is a little too far forward. So I will do the toe scruncher until my shin is more or less vertical. When your legs feel set, bring your arms straight up overhead and hold. And breathe. Try to sink down into your hips, but try to lift up through your arms. The shoulder blades still work their way down. Shoulder blades are still working toward the spine, but your arms are trying to work their way up. One more big inhale. Big exhale. Straighten your front leg. Drop your arms. Good work.